This is an interesting satellite photo taken over the east coast of the United States. Notice they have labeled New York City and Washington, D.C. on here. This is a visible satellite image, so the white that you're seeing are the clouds. You can see the land, North Carolina, Virginia, mid-Atlantic coast here up into New England. There's some more clouds in this area here. My guess is this is not cloud cover. I'm thinking a lot of this looks like snow. It would be easier to see if this was a satellite loop. The clouds would be moving, but the snow would not be. But given what I've seen in the past, I think this is snow cover here. So on one side of the Appalachians, you have snow. On the other side of the Appalachians, it looks like it's snow-free. And right along the coast, you can just make out the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. And you can't see too far into the Atlantic because all of a sudden you'll see these clouds that are forming there. And that's the interesting part of this satellite picture that I wanted to show you. You can get a sense that the air is moving offshore by the shapes of these clouds. And notice there's a kind of a line in the clouds right here. My guess is that would be a cold front that has moved offshore. So behind it I have northwesterly winds coming off the land. Because there's snow on the ground, this is probably a very cold, dry wind moving off the land. And ahead of the cold front, here where the clouds appear to be a little bit thicker, that's probably a maritime tropical air mass. Why do I have clouds behind the front? Well, usually behind the front you have sinking motions. Sinking motions lead to clear skies, kind of like you see along the east coast of the United States. But in this situation, that cold air is moving over relatively warm water. That water off the east coast is warm because there's the Gulf Stream, the warm body of water that moves up the east coast and heads all the way over to Great Britain. So as I have cold air, even though it's cold, dry air, moving over that relatively warm water, it is starting to pick up moisture. That warm water is evaporating. So right along the coast, there's not enough moisture in the air to cause cloud cover, but as that air moves further and further into the Atlantic, more and more moisture is getting picked up, more and more moisture is getting evaporated from that warm body of water, and that air is rising, forming these clouds. So it's pretty interesting to see the clouds parallel the coastline here, but it's all for a very logical reason. The dry air can't form clouds near the coast, but it can form clouds as it gains moisture as it moves further and further into the Atlantic Ocean.